Okay, so for this first problem, it asks you for the sine of A, the cosine of A, and the tangent of A. So these sine, cosine, and tangent functions for a right triangle, they are ratios. So it's like a ratio of sides. You have something on the top of the fraction, something on the bottom of the fraction. Now, it's all based on, hold on a second, I have to figure out where angle A is. I didn't realize I was missing that. So this is A, B, C. So it's all based on this angle A because it's asking you here for the sine of angle A, cosine of A, tangent of angle A, okay? And then we use this like to try to help us remember what sine, cosine, and tangent stand for. We use the word SohCahToa. So to spell that is SohCahToa. So S is sine, C is cosine, T is tangent. And then the O, H, A, H, O, and A, that's like the opposite side, the adjacent side, and the hypotenuse side. Okay, so opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse sides. So you start by labeling the sides of your triangle based on where angle A is. So from angle A, this is the opposite side. So I'm going to label that opposite. We know this is the hypotenuse side because it's across from the right angle. So then that makes this other side the adjacent. Adjacent just means like next to or beside. So it's beside angle A, but not the hypotenuse. Okay, and then you fill in your blanks. So sine, we say, is O on the top of the fraction, H on the bottom of the fraction. So O on the top of the fraction is opposite, that's 24. H on the bottom is hypotenuse, that would be 25. So your answer for that one is 24 over 25. Okay. Cosine of angle A is A, H. So A on the top, that would be right here. The adjacent side is 10. H on the bottom, the hypotenuse is 25. So cosine of angle A is 10 over 25. And then tangent, you do O on the top, A on the bottom. So O on the top, opposite is 24. A on the bottom, adjacent is 10. There you go. All right, the next one said solve for x, and then you can figure out what you have to round to. I think it said round to the nearest tenth. Yep. Find the value of x to the nearest tenth. Okay, so from this angle again, this is the only angle we have, you're going to label your sides. So this would be opposite. I don't have that side, so we're not going to use it. The one across from 90 degrees is the hypotenuse, and then this other one is the adjacent side, okay? So the two sides that I have are the hypotenuse, 4.5, and the adjacent. So hypotenuse and adjacent, if you think back to SohCahToa, we have SohCahToa. Do you want to go on there? Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. Okay, so you want to look for adjacent and hypotenuse because those are the two sides I have. So that would be back to our sine, cosine, tangent, SohCahToa. It's the CAH. So based on that, we know that we're going to use cosine. So the C stands for cosine of our angle, 33 degrees, equals, and then you set up a fraction. And it's, again, in this order. A on the top, adjacent is x. H on the bottom, hypotenuse is 4.5. Okay? Then you're going to put this over 1, and we cross multiply. At least that's how I do it. So x times 1 is x equals 4.5 times the cosine of 33 degrees. Okay? And then this part right here, you plug in your calculator. So 4.5 times cosine of 33. 3.774. So we'll say 3.77. It said round to the nearest tenth, so that's 1 decimal point. We're going to go up since the second number is bigger than 0.5, or bigger than 5. So 3.8 is what we would say. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing for this one. You're going to start at your angle, and we're going to label our sides. So across from the angle, we call this the opposite side. Across from 90 degrees, this of course is our hypotenuse. And then beside the angle, this other one that's lonely over here is the adjacent. So the two sides that you have, we have 5, which is the opposite side, and we have x, which is the adjacent side, okay? So opposite and adjacent. So I'm going to think back to SohCahToa to figure out, do I use sine, cosine, or tangent? Well, I have opposite and I have adjacent. That would be this one, TOA. So the T stands for tangent. So I take tangent of our angle, 40, equals, and then I set up my fraction. Opposite on top, which we said was 5 from your triangle right here. Adjacent on the bottom is x. Put this side over 1, and we're going to cross multiply. Okay, so I now have x times the tangent of 40. I multiply that cross together. So x times the tangent of 40 equals 5 times 1 is 5. And then to get x by itself, I'm going to divide by the tangent of 40 on both sides. So this cancels out. We now have x equals 5 divided by tangent of 40. So I'm going to plug that all straight in my calculator. 5 divided by tangent of 40. 5.96. 5.96. So we would round that up to like we would round that up since 6 is greater than 5. So I'm going to say 6.0 or just 6 maybe.